Imagine walking into an exam hall already knowing fully whether you were going to pass. That kind of confidence does not just come from luck, it comes from using the right study systems that actually guarantee success. And as a study tuber, right, who has had the opportunity to replicate this kind of results in other people's life, and also as a first class mechanical engineering student, I can tell you that there are 7 specific strategies that if you use, people will actually start thinking that you're cheating. And I suggest that you actually pay attention to number 6 because that one is really going to change the game for everybody. So, anyways, let's get into it. And the first one, we're taking it in different stages, right? And this is the before the exam stage. And the first tip for the before the exam stage is follow the map. Imagine you were lost in a forest now. Who do you think will get out faster? The person that is trying to create a map for themselves or the person that already has a map to follow? Well, your guess is as good as mine. If you already have AOC, if you already have a structure, if you already understand what the lecturer wants from you, why are you trying to do something else that nobody sent you to go and do? These are the kind of things that make people reduce their mark and make people actually have less of the academic success that they're actually deserving of. If you have some kind of leverage and if you have some kind of opportunity, it's best that you take advantage of it if you actually want to do well in your academics. And this next one is fight in armies, not in single soldiers. Picture any army that has gone for war, right? You will hardly ever see them sending out single soldiers to go and face, wars, because no, there's actually power in community, especially if your community really makes sense, right? Beyond this community, right, that we have here on this wonderful channel, thank you so much for all those that have subscribed and joined. And if you've not, subscribe just so that we can all be learning and getting better in academics, right? But that aside, in your friend group, right? All of you, when you're coming together to come and read, it's never the same thing. Like there's something that that other person would know that will always help you and also help the other person as well. So reading together during that exam period is not just because you want to look like all those things in TV shows, because each person has something to contribute. And the next one is get to battle before dawn. When it comes to exam periods, like one thing you want to ensure is that you are in your best state of mind, your best frame of mind, and that usually comes when you arrive at the center on time. Don't be that person that will be running towards the exam hall. Like read, sleep, wake up, revise, and walk to your exam hall, knowing fully well that you are actually going to do very well. Because what's the point of doing all this your reading if you end up getting to the exam hall late and they don't now allow you inside? All your reading has been wasted. So just ensure that your composure is 100%. Get there on time, actually do what you're supposed to do in the exam hall, and come and testify of your age. Oh. And talking about ensuring you get to battle by dawn, attendance, people of God, attendance. I don't know about other school, but my school, like attendance is a really big issue. As much as you can, try your best to solve any attendance issue that you have prior to the exam period, because once you're trying to solve all these matters before exam, it has a way of destabilizing you and just making you waste unnecessary time. So anything that you need before your exam, anything that you need to ensure that will aid your success, I suggest that you do it before the time rather than when it's already time for the exam. And this moves me on to the during the exam phase. And this number 4, it might not really apply to everybody, right? But it's the fact that sometimes your soldier outfit can determine the outcome of the war. You will never see a soldier wearing all manner of funny things to war. So I don't know why you to during exam period wearing all manner of funny things. From various studies, right, you can see that the way you dress is hardly associated with your confidence as well. So as much as you can always try during exam hall. Sorry, I always try during exam to make myself look nice, smell nice, so that I'm composed and looking good, not the one that will be scratching my hair, running up and down, wondering what's going on in my life. And this next point is very important though. If you like, don't use it. That was your business. And it's the fact that before you enter exam hall, pray. When you enter exam hall, pray. When you're coming out of exam hall, pray. And let me tell you why. Because when you're going into exam hall, right, you don't necessarily really know what's about to happen. You don't really know what's going to go on as you enter inside the exam hall. But prayer is the only thing that we can send into the future. I don't know how to explain it, but commit everything to the hands of the Lord, right? And God has a way of just establishing your thoughts. I'll put the scripture on the screen. Just pray, Shan, just to commit everything to the hands of God, and so that God can help you ensure your success. So these 6 points that I told you about is very important. It can really be the difference between C and A. And it's the fact that you need to attack your key enemies first. If you watch any spy movies, right, they're usually trying their best to attack the head leader, instead of the little people around them. And there's always a reason for that. So there's this particular exam that they introduced in my school, right? And a lot of people were not able to finish the exam. And I eventually blamed that on this particular point. When you're trying to answer questions in exam hall, I advise you to always attempt the ones that you can easily do and then come back to the ones that you're struggling with, because time in exam hall is very, very limited. When you see a question that is longer than others or is a little bit harder than others, I always suggest that you can't answer the ones that are a little bit easier for you to understand and then come back to those ones that you actually struggle with. This is an advice that I've applied even to my certification exams like my SolidWorks now. Instead of me just doing the small questions that are just worth 15 marks, I go forth and do the big questions, the major questions that will actually count much more for me. And that I can also link that to this book by Brian Tracy, Eating the Frog, right? Not just go around and be doing the small questions that don't even add up to anything, but actually go forth and conquer the ones that you either know or are easier or you can complete in a faster amount of time. And so this next one is the post exam period. And it's the fact that please don't cry over spilled milk. Don't cry over spilled milk. Why am I saying milk? Hey, Jesus Christ. So I see a lot of people, right, when they come out of exam hall, they start manifesting one of things and start getting angry, doing this, doing that. But like in most exams, right, what has happened has happened. You can't really change anything. But I just advise you to number one, thank God, right? Because somebody that is dead cannot write exam, but because you're alive, you have the opportunity to write the exam. And then you have to just find a way to move on, right? I know you'll be feeling that. I'm telling you, I have come out an exam hall. I had this question in 300 level, 17.5 marks. We're supposed to use 0.05, but I solved the whole question worth 17.5 marks out of 70 with zero point 0.5 instead of 0.05. So that means I had failed that question completely. And then there was another question worth 17.5 marks. I didn't know the answer to anything in that question at all. So you can guess how I felt about that. So of course I ended up getting C in that course, right? But there's nothing I can do about it because I've already written it and everything, and that mistake has happened. But that's why once again you pray before exam, or to pray against the spirit of error, to pray against unnecessary troubles that you just don't know that you might encounter. Because plus and minus can be the reason why somebody will fail exam. It's something funny, right? But there's nothing you can do about it. That's why you must pray before you enter, and then pray after you enter. And once you've written the exam, hand it over to God. Stop calculating the number of marks that you have at the end of the day. I know it's very, very tempting to do so because even myself, I do it sometimes. I cannot even lie. But once you've done it, you've done it. Hand it over to God, and hopefully your desired outcome will be your desired outcome. But exams is just one part of the sector. Exams is just one part of what makes the 5.0. So I suggest that you check out this video by the side if you actually want to see what I did from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester to actually achieve my 5.0. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in another video. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, Joe, before you go. If not, just like the video so that other people can see it and do well in the academics. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.